Oi, gente! Oi, pessoal! Tudo bom? Welcome to this class. Today is the third class of the Brazilian Portuguese Week. I'm very excited to be here with you today. Today we are going to talk about pronunciation. So I'm going to teach you all the details about the pronunciation of the letter R. There are so many variations. It depends on the position of the letter in the word, and also it depends a lot on the accent. So I'm going to tell you all the details about it, and we are going to practice a lot in class, okay? So get ready to speak Portuguese, to practice out loud. It is very important to speak out loud when you are practicing learning pronunciation. Let me know if you guys can see me and hear me well. I see a lot of people here. Tudo bom? Linnea, Cristina, Nico, Sophie, Anne-Marie, tudo bom? Daniel, Ankur, Stephen. Muito bom, so good to see you all here. David, tudo bom? Mônica. Muito bom, gente. Então vamos lá. So, as always, I prepared a material for this class, and it is already available on the website. Okay, I'm going to show you where you can download this material, and I recommend you do so you can study this material after the class. So to have access to the material, you have to sign up for this event. This event is free. You can sign up for free. So just go to this page, BrazilianPortugueseWeek.com. You also find it at school at speakingbrazilian.com, but this is the easiest way. So BrazilianPortugueseWeek.com, click on sign up for free. Don't use this last part because then it has more steps. Just click here, sign up for free, and you will have access to replays and the material for this that I prepared for this class. And the entire course will still be available for one more week at the end of the course. Okay, so we still have some time to study. If you want, you can go back, watch the lessons, and download the material for 1 week after the course finishes. Okay, so let's just review the curriculum. We already had the first class and the second class. Today we are studying pronunciation, the variations of the letter R. Tomorrow we are going to talk about prepositions, which is a very important topic, and it is also a very good review for intermediate level students. The next two classes are intermediate level. The classes on Thursday and Friday are going to be 100% in Portuguese. So these first classes, I'm teaching the class in English because it is a live class, so I cannot add subtitles, and I know that many of you would not follow the class if I spoke only Portuguese. That's why I'm using English. I obviously prefer using more Portuguese in class. In my courses, we use a lot of Portuguese in class. But in these live classes, I can only talk with you via chat, so it is more complicated. That's why I use a lot of English. But we are going to practice a lot of Portuguese in this class, okay? But if your level is intermediate, I recommend you add it to a calendar. Join me on Thursday and Friday for the intermediate level classes, okay? And on Saturday, we are going to have the last class. I'm going to share with you a lot of study tips, and I'll have more time to answer your questions. Tá bem, gente? Muito bom. So just a reminder that my courses are now open for enrollment. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I don't offer courses all the time. I work with a very small team, so it is very hard for me to open courses all the time. So I open and close enrollments every 3 months. So now the enrollment is open. You can sign up for one of my classes, and then I'm going to close enrollment this Saturday so I can take care of the students. Okay, I offer 4 courses. If you're not sure what is your level, what is the best course for you, I recommend you take a placement test. It is also available on my website. You just go to speakingbrazilian.com, click on courses, and then you find this page, and to take the test, just click here to take a placement test. Tá bem? So this just a quick summary of the courses, so you have an idea of what I recommend for each course. So the first course is the essential course for beginners. This one is for those who have never studied Portuguese before, or if you have just studied using, Duolingo or things like that, because you cannot really, in my opinion, really learn a language using apps. So I recommend you join the Essential course for beginners so you really learn all the essential content so you have a solid base, a solid foundation in the language, okay? The next course is the pre-intermediate workshop. This course is for upper beginner level students. You have already studied all the most basic content, but you need to review and practice and try to speak more in Portuguese. So this course is very good for those who have studied for 3 to 6 months. Then the pre-intermediate course will get you to the next level. It will prepare you for an intermediate level class. Then we have the Grammar and Conversation workshop. This course is intermediate level. It is 100% in Portuguese, and you'll learn advanced and intermediate level grammar, but we're also going to practice conversation in class. So it's a mix of grammar and conversation. Not recommended for beginners. You have to understand Portuguese and be prepared to learn to study a lot of grammar and practice conversation in Portuguese in class, okay? But if you have already studied everything, you're not interested, you don't need to go back and study grammar or review anything, you're good with that, but you just need a place to practice Portuguese regularly, to have a teacher to help you with your questions, to be in contact with other people who are learning Portuguese. This is the place for you. So I created the Academy to offer a place for you to practice regularly, because this is the biggest challenge when you get to intermediate level, right? You can speak, you already studied everything, but now what? Now, how can I maintain my Portuguese? So this is the place for you. So, okay, you have access to a lot of material to study by yourself. You have one live class a week with a Brazilian teacher to practice conversation with a small group of students. All my courses offer the option, you can choose the option to have just the pre-recorded course or to have also live classes via Zoom every week with a Brazilian teacher and a small group of students, 6 to 10 students per class, okay? So all courses offer this option. To know more, to learn more about the courses, just go to this page, click on learn more, you see prices, schedule, everything is explained on these pages. And I just want to remind you that I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try the course, and if you change your mind, you can either switch to another class or ask for a full refund. Tá bem? So that's it about my courses. One more thing, I would like to invite you to follow my new Instagram account. I had an Instagram account that was canceled a couple of months ago. So now I have this new one, and I'm very excited about it to share. I'm using it to share interesting content related to Portuguese and language learning. And this week, I'm hosting a challenge on this account to encourage you to practice a little bit more Portuguese after the class. So I already published the first 2 challenges. There is still time to go to Instagram and take the first 2 challenges if you want. And if you join the challenge, you are going to participate in the giveaway. I'm going to give away a 30-minute pronunciation coaching session to one person by the end of the week. And the more challenges you complete, the more chances you have to win. So don't miss this opportunity. I have only 2 people that took the challenge so far. So if you join the challenge now, there's a big chance that you are going to win. So go to my Instagram account after the class to join the challenge, okay? And also at the end of this class here, this class now that you're watching now, I'm also gonna give away a pronunciation training class, 30-minute class with one of my teachers, the speaking Brazilian school teachers. And so stay until the end so you can join this giveaway, so you can participate and have a chance of winning a pronunciation class. Tá bem? Muito bom, gente. So let's get started. I'm going to share my other screen with you. Okay, I see that you guys are talking a lot in the comments. I'm going to have some time to answer your questions and read some of your comments soon. Also, I want you to know that I have my assistant, Aline. She's helping me in this class. She's in the comments. So if you see Aline, you can trust her. She's going to send you the links for the courses if you need it, and answer your questions about any questions that you have. Tá bem? Muito bom. I see one question from John here. What time does enrollment finish on Saturday? Is it after the free class? It is going to be a little bit later by the end of the day. So usually I close around It is around 10 p.m. New York time. So by the end of the day, you can sign up till the end of the day, New York time. But don't wait till the last minute because so you don't miss. Also, the live classes, if you want to join the Zoom classes, places per class are limited. So if you want to have class, let's say I want to have class at Wednesday at 7 p.m. I only have 10 spots in each class. So if you leave to join the course later, you might not have the chance to get into that class. So I recommend that if you don't have a lot of time, if you really want to join one specific class, the sooner the better, so you have a better chance. Of course, if you email me, I can try to help you find a good schedule for you. But the sooner the better. The sooner you sign up, you have more spaces, more chances to get a good schedule for you. Okay? Muito bom, gente. Just taking a look here. Muito bom. So let's start talking about pronúncia, pronunciation. That's today's topic, pronúncia. Specifically, how to pronounce the letter R. It sounds simple. Sometimes it's very simple, but there are some details about the letter R that are very complicated. So in this class, I'm going to talk about all the details. So get ready for details. Vamos lá. So the R can have in Portuguese about 4 different pronunciations. It can have 3 different pronunciations, or it can be mute. So that's confusing, right? But if you understand how it works, it's not that difficult because it is always pronounced the same way at beginning of words, middle, between 2 vowels, and also when you have 2 R's. So let's talk about all of that. So let's start talking about the letter R at the beginning of words. Write the first letter of a word. It is always pronounced the same way. We call it strong R, R forte. And it sounds a little bit like, to compare to other languages, it sounds a little bit like the letter H in English. It's ha, rato. A little bit also like the jota in Spanish. And depending on the accent, can sound a little bit like the R in French, like rouge. So it can be a little bit softer or stronger, but the sound always comes from the throat. Okay, there's a lot of air passing through the throat. Okay, so let's see examples, and I want you to pronounce with me. This is important in pronunciation classes. You have to repeat out loud. Okay, and you should repeat many times, and I want you to imitate. Try to pronounce exactly the way that I do. Okay, rato, rato. See that the strongest syllable is the first one. The second one is very weak. The letter O, when it's placed in weak syllables, it usually sounds like a very weak U. Rato, rato. Rio, Rio. Like Rio de Janeiro, Rio de Janeiro, Rio de Janeiro. Rio, Rio. Okay? Rua, rua. You see that I'm like, you have to do this to pronounce the sound. Rua, rua. Relógio, relógio, relógio. Remédio, remédio, remédio. Rosa, rosa, rosa. Are you repeating after me? This is important. Muito bom, gente. So you can see the translation of these words here, but today the class is not about vocabulary, it's about pronunciation. So don't worry too much about learning these words. Just pay attention to the sounds, okay? The sounds. So a funny question, the difference between rat and mouse in Portuguese, we have rato, which is rat. Mouse is camundongo. It's a cute word, it's a long word, camundongo. Muito bom. So I have a question for you so you can think a little bit and practice a little bit more. I want you to think about words that you know in Portuguese that start with the letter R. Like the first letter is the letter R. And I want you to think, how would you pronounce these words? and I want you to practice out loud. So let me know in the comments, send me some words I'm going to pronounce for you, and then I'm going to ask you to repeat after me, okay? So give me some words in Portuguese that you know that start with the letter R, and all these words you're gonna see that the first R is pronounced the same way. Sim, Juan, camundongo is the mouse, a little thing. Muito bom. Então vamos lá. So I'm going to read some of your comments to see what words you come up with. Muito boa essa, David. Relâmpago. Relâmpago. Relâmpago means lightning, né? I think so. Muito bom. Roupas. Roupas. Clothes. Roupas. Muito bom. So here we have the double, the diphthong, right? Two vowels. Roupas. It is very subtle, but we do pronounce both vowels, okay? Roupas. Roupas. Rodoviária. Muito bom, Sophie. Rodoviária. Excelente. Revista. Magazine. Revista. Revista. So every time I pronounce a word, guys, you have to repeat after me, okay? That's your assignment for the day. Revista. Monica, I think you mean the animal, right? Huh. There is we need to write with the tilde and the letter A. Huh. And then it's a nasal sound. Huh. Huh. Muito bom. Muito bom. Muito bom. Roxo. Roxo. Roxo is the color, purple. Roxo. Roxo. Muito bom. Roraima. 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 It's the name of a state in Brazil. Roraima. Raio. Raio. Muito bom. Raio. So this is lightning. I don't remember the other word that I said. Hey. Hey. Hey means king. Hey. Muito bom. You guys have very good words. Respeito. Respect. Respeito. Respeito. Muito bom. Rafael. In Portuguese, we usually write this word with the letter F instead of PH, but sometimes we do have this variation in Brazil as well. Rafael. Rafael. Muito bom. So this one is interesting because here we have two different R's. Mente. Mente. We are going to talk about the second R now, which is the R that is placed between two vowels. So you see we have the first R, and then we have the second one is between the two vowels A. Ara. So every time we have the letter R between two vowels, like in the middle of a word, it sounds like R. This R, it is called R fraco, weak R, and it is the sound is created with the vibration of your tongue, at the tip of the tip of your. You have to flap the tongue against the top of your mouth. Okay, so R. It is very similar if you speak English, but it's more similar to American English. The words better. It's the same thing. It's like we call it in English, we call it flap T. So you have this, the tongue, it goes up and down and vibrates. Ra. Better. So it's like caro, party, water, letter. It's the same sound, exactly the same sound. Okay, so if you speak American English, you can do this comparison. So let's see examples. Repeat after me. Caro. Amarelo. América. Barulho. Arara. 2 times here, huh? Arara. claro, claro, claro. Okay, so every time we see the R between two vowels, you have to pronounce it that way. Okay, it is like r, r. You just like tap the top of the tip of your tongue against the top of your mouth, and then you have this sound, ra, ra. It is very similar to the Spanish R and Italian R, right? Caro, amarelo. So let me know now. I would like to hear from you guys. What other words you know that have the letter R placed between two vowels? Let me know. I'm going to read for you so we can practice pronunciation together. Okay? Okay, looking here to see if you have questions. Okay, so let's continue, and then I'm going to read some of the comments. Let me know what other words can you remember in Portuguese that have the letter R between two vowels. Arara. So arara, I read here. Oh, okay. Good comments coming in. So cadeira, which means chair. Cadeira. Cadeira. So we have also the diphthong here. We have to pronounce dei, a, cadeira, cadeira. So this is a different case, Charles, because we have two R's. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Churrasco. So here it sounds just like the R in the beginning of words. So it doesn't count as in this example. So this is just one R between two vowels. We have this pronunciation, this r, r. Para, the preposition, which means two or four. Ouro, 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 which means gold. Here, so in this case, and we have the R in the beginning of a word and at the end of a word, but we don't have it between two vowels. So in this case, the pronunciation is like the first one that I mentioned, here. And then we have the last one, here. I'm going to talk about the R at the end also in a minute. Very good example, Bárbara. Pronunciaria. So we have two here, right? We have the pro. So this is a different example. Actually, I didn't add all the detail, I didn't add this in the lesson, the use of two consonants that are pronounced with the letter R. So this is one good example, the word pronunciar. So we have the PR and it sounds like pr, pronunciaria. So we have this R two times in this word. Pronunciaria. Muito bom, Bárbara. Excelente. Carioca. Carioca is the person who is born in Rio de Janeiro. Carioca. Muito bom. Obrigado. So here we have another example with the BR. So the letters BR, CR, they are pronounced like with the same R. Muito bom, gente. So I wanted to hear more, see more examples that you have. But while you think about examples, I'm going to talk about the double R. When you have two R's, how do you pronounce that? So this is a fun word as well. Jururu. Jururu means sad. Jururu. Muito bom, Todd. Caipirinha. Muito bom. Caipirinha is a very traditional Brazilian beverage. Pássaro. Excelente, Catarina. Muito bom. Let's talk about the double R, two R's together. You are never going to see two R's at the beginning of a word or at the end. No, it is always in the middle, okay? Always in the middle, always between two vowels, okay? And it always sounds like the strong R, o R forte, just like the same pronunciation you find in the R at the beginning of words, okay? It's the same, just like the H, ha, just like the French R a little bit, depending on the accent. So let's see examples. Pronounce after me. Carro. So here the stress is at the beginning, the last syllable is weak. Carro. carro, carro. Correr, correr, correr. Sorriso, sorriso, sorriso. Ferro, ferro, ferro. Corrupto, corrupto, corrupto. Sussurrar, sussurrar, sussurrar. We are going to talk about this last R here in a minute. Just focus now on the double R, okay? The pronunciation of the two R's. You see, it also sounds like ha. You have to have a lot of air passing through, and it comes from the throat, right? Ha, carro, correr. So it comes from the throat, okay? Muito bom. So same question for you guys. What other words do you know in Portuguese that have two R's? Let me know, write in the comments, and I'm going to read some of your comments, and I invite you to pronounce after me to practice pronunciation, okay? Muito bom. So many comments here. Excelente. And while you think about your... okay, I already have some comments here. Muito bom. Carreira. So this is a good one. Carreira. Carreira. O rato roeu. We are going to practice this at the end of the class. I have it in the material. So this is a tongue twister, and it's a very good one to practice. This the first R, the one that comes at the beginning. Carracho. I don't know this word. What does it mean? Carracho. I don't know. So verão. Verão is an example with the word between two vowels. Verão, verão. Morrer, morrer. Morrer means to die. Morrer, morrer. Muito bom. Ferramenta. Ferramenta, which means tool. Ferramenta. Ferramenta. Correios, 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 which is Brazilian USPS. Muito bom. I think, Barbara, you mean feroz. I think it is with one R, not two. Feroz, I'm not sure. Maybe just ferro without the Z at the end. Cachorro. Oh, this is a good example. I love cachorros. Cachorro. Cachorro. Cachorro, which means dog. Barriga. Barriga. Barriga, which means belly. Muito bom. Arrumar. Arrumar. Arrumar, which means to organize. Excelente. Muito bom, gente. Ótimos exemplos. Very good examples. So, very good. So, continue doing this exercise, and now I'm going to start talking about the letter R at the end of syllables. This is the most complicated part of the class, and it's one of the most important because this is where you are going to get confused, receive so many questions about this. How do I pronounce this word or that word because of the R? And you're going to see people pronouncing different ways because the R at the end of syllables can be pronounced in 4 different ways. So this is the only one that have all these variations. You see all these examples that I gave you before, they are always the same. Everyone, there's like very little variations in pronunciation, but nothing much. Most people pronounce those words the same way, okay? There's no, every Brazilian is going to say rato. This is the pronunciation of the letter R, okay? There's no much variation, maybe sometimes a little bit, but not much. But when we talk about words, but the words that have the letter R at the end of syllables, then it varies a lot depending on the accent. Okay, so let's talk about it so you know the variations, so you can understand when Brazilians speak, and so you don't feel confused. So you understand, okay, it's just this person's accent. Okay, it's not that you are pronouncing the wrong way. Maybe it's just the accent. Okay, so the R at the end of syllables can have the 3 can be pronounced as the can be pronounced as the R forte, ra, can be pronounced as the R fraco, ra, can also be pronounced as the R retroflex, which is just like American R, and it can sometimes be mute. It can be dropped, right, reduced. So let's see examples. And there is no rule regarding this. No rule, is just accent, nothing else. Accent, okay? But what do I mean when I say at the end of syllables? It could be at the end of words. So this is easy, right? So if you see, like all the verbs, for instance, they have the R at the end, right? Falar. How can I pronounce the word falar? I can pronounce this word in 4 different ways. Falar. I just have this R coming out of my mouth. Falar. I can pronounce this word as falar, falar. I'm exaggerating, obviously, to show you, but it is really quick. But the pronunciation is this: falar, falar. We could also say falar, falar, falar. And sometimes, in some places, people just drop it. Falar, falar. So you don't hear anything, okay? So these 4 pronunciations are used in Brazil. What is right, what is wrong, really has no right, there is no right or wrong. It's just an accent, okay, in this case. So let's practice the other words as well. Comer, 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 or comer. When where people pronounce these things in different ways, it really depends on the origin of the person, where you are from, but usually people from the south and southeast are going to pronounce the word falar with the weak R, falar, falar, falar. People from the northeast and Rio de Janeiro would say falar, falar, falar. And there are some places outside in São Paulo and Paraná at the south and southeast, but not in the big cities, the small cities. They would have the retroflex R, which is falar, falar. So this is very common in São Paulo state, not common in the city, but very common in São Paulo state. Okay, so it's just a variation in pronunciation. Okay, so assistir, 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 por, por. Everything is right, guys. Muito bom. And now let's talk a little bit about this same thing, same letter at the end of syllables. So here, when I say at the end of syllables, it could be at the end of words, or it could be right here. So this word is divided into syllables. So usually when I say at the end of syllables, it is between a vowel and a consonant. Okay, between a vowel and a consonant. There's a vowel here and the consonant here. Usually the pronunciation is this one. It can vary a lot depending on the accent. So you could pronounce this word as porta, porta, porta. All 3 options are very common. It is not that common to drop the R in this case as well, only at the end of words. So let's see this one. This one is, so I'm just separating the syllables so you can see, you can understand why it is pronounced this way. So here we have mercado, mercado, mercado. 3 different pronunciations. Let's see this word. Verbo, verbo, verbo. And the last one, corpo, corpo, corpo. Okay, 3 ways, very common. They're all very, very common. So that's why it is sometimes so confusing for students, because, okay, how, oh, and sometimes one funny thing, like I lived in many different places in Brazil. I was born in the Northeast, then I grew up in the South, and then I moved to São Paulo. So I sometimes pronounce the same word in different ways, depending on the time. So sometimes, like the word mar, Mar means the sea. Sometimes I say mar, sometimes I say mar, because my accent is mixed. So I really recommend that you don't worry about that. The accent that you're learning is really not important. It is important that you know the difference, that you understand what people are saying. And the other rules that I mentioned before this one, it is very important to follow those rules, that pronunciation. But here at the end of syllables, you can choose the one that is easiest for you to pronounce, or the one that your friends use, tá bem? Então, question for you. So what other words do you know that have the letter R at the end of syllables? I'm gonna read some of your comments so we can practice pronunciation. And you can choose to practice to use the R that you prefer. Muito bem, I'm talking so much, I need to drink more water. Muito bom. So temos borboleta. So you could say borboleta, borboleta, or borboleta. Muito bom. So I have a question here from Leonie. So it's okay if you change depending on the word. So sometimes pronounce one way and another word in another way. It's totally okay. I do that all the time. But only if the R is placed at the end of a syllable, right? Or at the end of a word, right? Because if it is at the beginning of a word, it always have to sound that way. Or if it is between two vowels, or if it is the double R. But in this last example, then it's totally okay if you pronounce in one way one time and another way the other time. It's really not important. Muito bom. Pergunta. Por quê? Ou pergunta. Por quê? Muito bom. Ser ou ser. Prazer. Prazer ou prazer. Muito bom. Jogar, ou jogar, ou jogar. The retroflex one is the hardest one for me because it's less natural for me, but the other two sound very natural for me. Cair, cair. Muito bom. Perto, perto. Por favor. So you could say, this word is so common, you could say, por favor, por favor. And sometimes you can drop both R's. You can say, por favor, por favor. Just drop both R's. This is very common in, informal colloquial language. Morar, morar. Hortelã, hortelã. Colocar, colocar. Dançar, dançar. Preparar, preparar. Muito bom. Beber, beber. Tartaruga, tartaruga, muito bom. Perto, perto, excelente. Limpar, limpar. Muito bom, gente. Looking for a question here. Você pode enfatizar a diferença da pronúncia do som do R no início da palavra entre o português brasileiro e português? I'm not sure if there is a difference. Maybe there is, but I'm not sure. I have many Portuguese friends, but I don't prepare my classes thinking about differentiating both languages, both variations. So I'm not sure if they pronounce the R exactly the same way. Muito bom. So guys, now let me know if you have questions. So if you have questions, I would say that I pronounce the R very similarly to Brazil. I'm not sure about this last topic though. But the other ones, I think it is very similar. Muito bom. So many comments. Orar. Orar. Faro. Dormir. Olhar. Caminhar. So all the verbs, right? They can have these variations in pronunciation at the end. All the verbs. So many words. Muito bom, excelente. Subiram, cerveja ou cerveja. Muito bom, verdade ou verdade. Excelente, gente. So now I have a fun exercise for you, which are tongue twisters. Tongue twisters, they will not teach you like a little bit of vocabulary, but sometimes they don't even make any sense. But this exercise is so useful to practice pronunciation and articulation. So I highly recommend that you do this exercise because it is going to help you a lot to, move your muscles and practice all these phonemes that are different for you. So let's do this. I brought 2 tongue twisters and they have the letter R. So here, the first one has all the R's. We have the R between 2 vowels. We have the R, the double R. We have the R at the beginning of a word. And the last one is just at the beginning of a word. The second one is actually easier. Let's start with the second one, then we move to the first one. So I need you to promise me that you're going to repeat after me, okay? So this is important, unless you are in the middle of the streets, and then you don't have to, because then people are going to think that you are crazy. Okay, so let's practice this one. O rato roeu a roupa do rei de Roma. O rato roeu a roupa do rei de Roma. O rato roeu a roupa do rei de Roma. So I recommend that we start very slowly and then try to speed it up. O rato roeu a roupa do rei de Roma. O rato roeu a roupa do rei de Roma. So it's ha, ha, ha. Okay, always like let the air pass to pronounce the ha, the R sound. Okay, o rato roeu a roupa do rei de Roma. Okay? Did you do it? Muito bom. And let's move on to the next one. This one is tricky because there is the R sound, very different variations, and the nasal sound. This is a sound that comes from your nose. The So let's try this, okay? If you cannot do it, it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. But repeat after me. I'm going to start very slowly, and then I'm going to speed up a little bit. So let's do this. A aranha arranha a rã. A rã arranha a aranha. Nem a aranha arranha a rã, nem a rã arranha a aranha. Okay, did you get this? Let's try one more time. A aranha arranha a rã. A rã arranha a aranha. Nem a aranha arranha a rã. Nem a rã arranha a aranha. Did you get that? Are you repeating after me? Promise? Okay. Muito bom, guys. So this is useful for you because if you can differentiate these 2 words, aranha and arranha, this is important, right? Because then you get the difference between the r and the ha, which is very, very important. Aranha, arranha, okay? You have to pronounce these 2 words in different ways. They're very similar, that the only difference they are, okay? So this is your homework. You have to practice these tongue twisters. So I see that someone mentioned that there's the letter rica here. So yeah, there are variations of these tongue twisters. One other variation is very interesting, which is o rato roeu a rica roupa. A rica roupa do rei de Roma. So both variations are common. So you could add 1 letter here to make it a little bit more challenging. O rato roeu a rica roupa do rei de Roma. Muito bom, gente. This was fun. I love tongue twisters because they're fun and they're really helpful. So I recommend that you practice this. Download this material on the website and then try at home. And you can record yourself so you can check, oh, am I pronouncing this right? So you can be your own teacher, okay? Okay, guys, so we still have some time. I want to answer your questions. Let's use this time to answer your questions. Let's focus on pronunciation today. So if you have questions about pronunciation, I would prefer to focus on that today. But if you have other questions as well, I'm here to help you with your Portuguese, tá bem? So just before I finish the lesson, I want to remind you that we have so many accents in Brazil, So the accent I'm teaching based on my own experience and the knowledge that I have. I lived in many different places in Brazil, so I do have a lot of experience and knowledge. But some people are going to pronounce things in a different way. Okay, so I recommend when you're learning Portuguese, just listen to your friends if you have Brazilian friends or family, and imitate the way they are pronouncing. Okay, because so many variations. There is not so many words you can pronounce in different ways, not only the letter R, but so many other variations. So the best way to improve your pronunciation is to imitate. Listen, imitate. The more you listen, the more you are going to assimilate the pronunciation of your friends and family. If you don't have friends and family, just listen to videos and podcasts. That's going to help you a lot. Tá bem? So now let's answer your questions. So one question here about the CH. And one thing that related also to pronunciation, if you have not taken my free course yet, I created a free course for pronunciation only for pronunciation. I teach all the main sounds, including the R sound. But today's lesson, I talked about more details than I teach in my free pronunciation course. But if you have not taken the free course yet, I recommend you do. You'll find it on my website, speakingbrazilian.com. I talk about a lot of important details, especially the sounds that are different from other languages, okay? And one of the sounds that I teach in my free course is the CH. The CH in Portuguese sounds like sh, the SH, always, no exception, okay? So the CH sounds like sh. So, por exemplo, a palavra chá, chá. So the CH always sounds like SH, sh, like chá, okay? Okay, guys, looking for my question. So this question is a little bit longer, the explanation. So I recommend you take a look at my free course in pronunciation. I talk about all the details of the letters D and T. So this is a long answer because the D and the T, just like the R, they have a lot of variations. Because the CH is always SH, is always sh, there's no variation. But the D and the T, it depends on the vowel. So I recommend you take a look at the mini course, but I'm gonna give you just a couple of examples. So dado, dedo, dia. So the letter E is dia. Doido e dúvida. So this is the most common pronunciation of the letter D. But also if you say the preposition G, then it's also G. Okay, it sounds like G. And the T is similar. Tatu, tatu, teto. There's no accent here. Tatu, teto. Let me see. Chia, chia. So the letter T, D, and the letter T, before the letter I, it changes the pronunciation. Okay. Teto, chia. Let me see. Toronto. Just looking for different vowels, and turma. But also, if you say just the letter chi, it also sounds like chi. So as you see, there are a lot of details. I would take a long time to explain everything in this class, so recommend you take a look at my free course in pronunciation. You find it on my website, okay? Muito bom. Looking for... So how to roll the R? You mean to say the fricative R, the r, amarelo. I'm not sure how to teach how to roll the R because you just have to imitate and practice. I think that only a person that specializes in phonetics would be able to really teach that. It's not my specialty. So I'm not sure how to teach you that, but what I can say is that you have to vibrate the tip of your tongue against it. If you speak English, it's exactly like the word water. No difference. Water. Ra, ra is this sound. So I recommend you try to connect with the language that you already speak so you can maybe imitate that sound. How do you say xadrez? So this is interesting. The letter X can have many different pronunciations in Portuguese. I made a video about the letter X. It is available on my YouTube channel. In this case, it sounds like the SH. Xadrez. So the first X sounds like, it's actually like with the letter Z at the end. So the first X sounds like SH, and at the end the sound is S, xadrez, xadrez. Muito bom. What else? What other questions do you have? Muito bom, gente. So Kate, this is also a very long topic, the nasal sounds. So my tip for you is to remember to pronounce, it is a the sound, it is a diphthong sound. So we have two vowels, u, u. So we have to pronounce the which is nasal, and the u is not nasal, u, and then you have to connect both, If you remember that, because the biggest mistake that people make is to pronounce just one sound, like on. That is wrong. You should say on, two sounds. You see two vowels in Portuguese, it means it is a diphthong. It means you must pronounce two vowels, okay? Muito bom. I also talk about that in the mini course, but I think this is the most important thing that you have to remember: pronounce two sounds. Same thing for your question, Bassam. São. So the the C with the little thing below sounds like S, and the is a nasal sound, and you have to pronounce two sounds. The two vowels are pronounced. Don't forget that. I said that many times already. U, okay? Muito bom, gente. Very good questions. So, fã. So this is just like a very nasal sound, just like the but here we just have one sound. So the nasal, to make sure that you're making a nasal pronunciation, you can really touch here. If you say ah, like a regular letter A, in Portuguese is always a. If you say ah, you will not feel any vibration on your nose, because the ah sound is an oral sound. It goes directly through your mouth. The air doesn't go through your nose. Ah. And then if you want to say the nasal sound, the air should pass through your nose, and then you're going to feel a lot of vibration here. If you do this exercise, I know it sounds ridiculous. I can see myself, but this is important. This is the difference. If you do this, if you feel the vibration here, it means you're doing it right. If you don't feel it, it's not being nasal. It's not going through the nose. So, So we have fa, fã. It has a lot of vibration here. Fã, fã. So this is the pronunciation. It is difficult because some languages don't have that. So you have to practice a lot in order to get used to this difference in pronunciations, right? Muito bom, gente. So many questions. Looking for questions here. So stay with me. Don't go anywhere. You still have like a few minutes, and in a few minutes we're gonna have the giveaway to which will be a pronunciation coaching class with one of the teachers of my school. So stay until the end of the class so you can participate in the giveaway. So guys, I'm gonna share my other screen with you. We still have a few minutes left. And before we finish, I just want to remind you to that to go to the website to download this material so you can study this material. You can download it. Just go to BrazilianPortugueseWeek.com and sign up. If you have already signed up, you've been receiving my emails every morning. So just click on the email, on the link that I send on the email, okay? So you don't have to sign up again. And remember that if you're interested in learning Portuguese with me and my team, don't miss the opportunity to join one of my courses. Enrollment is open until the end of the week, until Saturday, okay, by the end of the day. But if you want, I recommend you join as soon as possible so you can choose the best time for you, okay? And here, if you go to my website, you also find the mini course that I mentioned, that I teach a lot of details. There are 7 different lessons in this mini course and some exercises to repetition exercises. If you have not taken this course yet, I recommend you do. It's completely free, and you find all the free resources that I offer also on this page. And my courses you find all the information about my courses also on this page. If you have any question about my courses, please let me know. We still have a few minutes. I would love to answer your questions if you're not sure if you should join one of my courses or not. So as all my courses, they offer this live class via Zoom. So if you're concerned about practicing pronunciation, my courses are going to help you a lot with that, because the teachers, they're always helping you with your pronunciation, because you practice in class, you speak Portuguese in class with a Brazilian teacher. So there is no better way to practice pronunciation than having a live class with a Brazilian teacher, right? You're going to listen to Portuguese and speak and practice, right? And remember to, after the class, to go to my Instagram account to join the challenge. This is a super fun challenge, so you can practice a little bit more. And if you join the challenge, you still have one extra chance to win a pronunciation class with one of the teachers. Okay, so go to my Instagram challenge. You'll find all the information. You'll find all the challenge in my reels and also on this highlight. Okay, guys, and so I'm gonna see if you guys have any questions left, so I can help you. I can use this few minutes, and we're gonna have the giveaway in 3 minutes. Okay, I have one question here from Sandra. Sandra said, I just wanted to ask how to pronounce the stress word lembra-lhe. I hope I wrote it well. Try to read articles in Portuguese, but sometimes forget checking this pronunciation. So lembra-lhe, lembra-lhe. This is very formal, okay? Lembra-lhe, lembre para ele, lembra-lhe. We don't use this kind of word language in spoken language. And I think it is weird to use the lhe here, because usually the pronoun lhe is used as an indirect object, and the verb lembrar, does not require any preposition, so it sounds a little bit weird, this use, but I would have to see this in a context to understand what it means. But the pronunciation would be lembra-lhe, lembra-lhe. Okay, I'm just not sure about the use of the pronoun with this verb. It sounds weird to me. Muito bom. Looking for more questions, guys. If you have any questions about my courses, the enrollment is open until Saturday. And okay, questions here about the challenge. Okay, so for the daily challenge, can I send you a video and a private message on Instagram? I would prefer that you did not send a private message, because I want to share your video with the other students so everyone can participate, can see your video, and so everyone can, because when I do the giveaway, I want people to know that it's real, that I'm not, doing a fake giveaway. I want people to know that you're really participating in the challenge. So, and then you won the giveaway. So you can participate in the challenge and send me a private message, and I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna give you feedback on it. But if you want to participate in the giveaway, you have to do it publicly. Okay, so it's up to you. You can do it privately and just receive feedback, or you can do publicly and participate in the giveaway. Tá bem? Muito bom. Looking for more questions, guys. Okay, so now it's time of the giveaway. I'm gonna see, Aline is going to send me some options. Okay, so Looking. Okay, so today's winner is Susan Blonsky. Susan Blonsky, you are the winner. Let me just change the image here. Susan Blonsky, you are the winner. You just won a pronunciation coaching session with one of the teachers of Speaking Brazilian School. And to have access to schedule your class, you have to get in contact with Aline. So just email her at school@speakingbrazilian.com, or just go to my website and send a contact and send a message, and she will give you all the details. Congratulations! Muito bom. So Ahmad is asking, if you have any questions, guys, I still have a couple of minutes. Ahmad is asking, amanhã temos aula? Sim! Sim, tomorrow you have a class. Tomorrow's class will be about prepositions, okay? So get ready to learn how to use all those little words, prepositions. Muito bom, gente. Excelente. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you learned a lot in this class, and remember that you can watch a replay on the courses page. Don't forget to download the material so you can study more, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. And if you sign up for the course, you will receive an email 1 hour before the class. Tá bem, gente? Até amanhã. Um beijo. Tchau, tchau.